Okay, so folks, we are going to talk about that funny story that I promised that is coming, and I thought it would be fitting to record that from my car here because it has to do with a car. So the title of this post is, or this video, is aptly named Puckertime. Puckertime, and no, I do not mean the sweet pucker of a kiss. No, we're talking about a whole other different kind of pucker time. So, we are leaving from Pakistan area. We were actually heading to go to the airport, so it was the day before. We're heading back to Lahore to go to the airport, and it's a 6-hour drive, give or take, and it's a pretty bumpy ride. It's you've got smooth part of the road about half of the way and about 3 hours that are not so smooth. So before we left to go to Pakistan, my husband had gotten kind of a nasty stomach virus. And while I was there, I had a touch of it, but not anything uncontrollable or anything like that. Well, we go to leave. I'm fine, and my stomach had been acting a little cranky, but nothing's going on. Just felt a little cranky, right? So I'm like, okay. So we go to leave. We're in this little van. All of us are loaded in there, and we are bouncing down the road, and I do mean bouncing down the road. And I will have to explain, or you need to watch my other video about the roads to completely get what I am talking about. But when I mean we're bouncing down the road, it's like a lane and a half. And that lane and a half is like a 2-lane road. People are coming at you, you're going, and you're weaving in and out, and people are honking, and that's the way you communicate that, hey, I'm coming on this part of the half a road. So we're weaving in and out, and my stomach is feeling it already. Like I'm feeling that horrible cold chills. You know what I'm talking about, because I'm not the only person who's had the cranky stomach before. So my husband says, we're going to stop and get KFC coming up. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, but it's going to be about an hour. So then I'm thinking, okay, cool, about an hour. So I asked my sister-in-law, does KFC, and that's Kentucky Fried Chicken, because they do have it there, do they have regular toilets? Again, we have a whole other post on what I mean by regular toilets, but in certain parts of the world, there are a different kind of toilet. I don't know what its technical name is, but it is essentially a hole in the ground with a big horseshoe looking. It's not a toilet seat. It's a ceramic foot stand, I guess, if you will. And you balance yourself over it. And I had tried my very best to avoid that, because anybody who knows me knows I don't even like to use public bathrooms. Yes, I am that freak who does not like to use the public bathroom. So I asked, is there going to be regular toilets there? She's like, yeah, they have the regular toilets there. So I'm like, all right, I can deal with this for an hour. We're bumping along, and I'm trying to pleasantly talk to my sister and brother-in-law as we get to know each other more one-on-one, because it's not the crazy hecticness of the marriage going on. And my stomach it's getting crankier and crankier, but I can still deal with it. And about an hour in, my brother-in-law looks at me and he goes, we're about an hour away. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, because we just had the hour that somebody already told me we were going to be there. And then now we're another hour. But I'm like, I could deal with it. I could deal with another hour. I'm about 30 minutes into there. I'm almost doing Lamaze over there. I mean, I had grip on the seat there. I mean, I was really hanging on tight, and hence the word or the phrase pucker time. because I think if there had been some coal between my booty cheeks, I would have created diamonds. And I do mean some probably really quality diamonds at that point. So after about an hour from the last update of it was going to be an hour, my husband looks back and he goes, "It's going to be about an hour. You okay?" I'm like, "Oh." And I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to be okay. But I said, of course I'm going to be okay, because, you know, that's just how we are. We are little troopers, and we're doing what we need to do. And I'm looking all around me to see if anything looks like it might remotely have a restroom that we could stop in. And we are literally in just the middle of nowhere. I'm still seeing some donkey carts going by and some camels, and the businesses don't look like they would have even a restroom. And if they did have a restroom, it was going to be a hole in the ground. And at this point, my stomach was hurting so bad, I was afraid that it would be messy if I even tried to hover over it. Because yes, we're from Texas, and I don't know about other places, but you know, we've all had to have a squat somewhere sometime in our life that, you know, wasn't a restroom. So it's not like we've never done it, or I had never done it. And so I knew I could squat over the little whole ceramic horseshoe toilet thing, but I was afraid that I would also have the monster of all messes there, because my stomach was just really, really bad. Like, I don't even remember the last time my stomach has hurt that bad. So there we are, 2 hours in. My husband's like, we got 1 more hour. And I'm like, okay. So there are periods of time I'm just hanging on to the toilet. No, not the toilet seat. I even now was thinking that's all I cared about was the toilet at that point. And I'm normally such a very private person too, and it would just seem so embarrassing that everybody in the vehicle knows that I have to go to the bathroom. But you know, at that point I didn't care. I really just needed that restroom. I've never wanted to see a KFC so bad in my life as I did that day. So about an hour in, maybe a little bit more than an hour, I finally look at my husband and I'm like, "How much longer?" And he goes, 10 minutes. I said, "Is that a real 10 minutes? Or is that a different kind of 10 minutes?" And he kind of gets snappy. He's like, "Well, I don't have any control over it." I said, "I am not saying you have any control over it. I am asking, is it a real 10 minutes or 30 minutes? Please don't tell me if it's 10 minutes and it's 30 minutes, because I got to be able to focus on this discomfort." He's like, "It should be about real 10 minutes. So as we're driving, and then I see that beautiful sign, and it says KFC with a big arrow right there. And I was just ecstatic, so ecstatic. So thank you from this girl in Texas to KFC for having KFCs, first of all, in Pakistan, because I was really happy to have the food too. And secondly, thank you for having a nice establishment with clean bathrooms and regular toilets, because this girl really needed it that day. So the story doesn't end there, because I was fine after that. I, did whatever I had to do. Well, I jumped out of the car and I told my sister-in-law, "You need to show me where to go." And, so we ran up there. It's a 2-story KFC, which I've never seen before. They're very nice. And she showed me where the restroom was and everything, and so got all that taken care of, except for, I really do mean, I don't think I have ever clenched my behind so tightly in my life. So I hope everybody is laughing and getting a good giggle out of it, because I can laugh now, but I surely was about crying that day. So we leave the next morning at we had to be at the airport at about 6 a.m. So we leave, we take our flight, everything's good. We end up, I think it's a 3.5 hour flight from one place to Dubai. So we get there and we have a 14-hour layover. So because it's such a long layover, it is during the day this time, and we were all feeling, I don't know, energy from exhaustion, I don't know, but we decided we were going to go on the 4-hour tour of Dubai that's offered there locally, and it's going great. And probably about 2.5 hours in, I look over and my little girl is got the same look on her face, and she is about colorless, and she's like, "Mama, my tummy hurts." And I knew, I felt so bad for her. And of course, at this point, that 2.5 hours in, we are in bumper to bumper traffic. Whereas before we'd been like here, there, kind of, you know, we could have, I think, had a little bit more leeway as to be able to get her to a restroom. And we were on our way to go to the gold market or gold district to take a look at how much gold is there in the city and be able to maybe buy some. So she is gripping a hold of the seat, and she's practically doing the Lamaze over there. And, you know, and as people are trying to talk to her, you know, she's like, "That doesn't help. That doesn't help. I just need to be able to focus. I'm just really uncomfortable." You know, and we've got the baby there and everything. She's like, "Mama, are you going to be mad? Are you going to be mad if I poop my pants?" And I was like, "No, honey, I am not, but let's just try not to make that happen. Let's just keep going." And she's like, I just really wish I was a baby right now. I just wish I had a diaper and I was a baby right now." Because this stuff is like the monster of all stomach viruses. Like, it comes on with a vengeance, and you really do feel like your insides are being ripped out. And again, whole new meaning to pucker time. So we did make it to the area on time. We did manage to find a restroom, and in Dubai all of the restrooms are raised, at least all of the ones that I have seen. They were regular normal toilets. I can't give a plug to the company or the store that we went to because I don't even remember the name. It was just something that was there that I didn't recognize, but thank you to that store too for letting us use the restroom, letting my daughter use the restroom, because it was definitely an emergency situation. So there is my funny story that I promised. I think I have more funny stories too, but to me this was the funnier one. And I hope you enjoyed my pucker time story. Pucker time.